Ajay.
Okay, na? Good morning to all participants. Today is with regard to exports and imports. The topic is exports and imports. Economic growth for countries. Vinay, you are able to see, huh? Yeah, yeah, the topic is exports and imports. Let us understand trade dynamics and regulations. Definition and key concepts of exports. Exports has been defined. Exports are goods or services sent from one country to another for sale. Export in the sense we are selling the goods who are customers are away from our country. That is, for example, India is exporting goods to other countries, say for example, United States of America or United Kingdom, Australia, Germany, Netherlands, Ireland, etc. These sales outside the boundary of India are called exports. They play a critical role in generating revenue for economies and may include a wide range of products, from raw materials to finished products. In the sense, suppose the company which is existed in India wants to sell its goods or services from India to overseas countries, for example, USA or UK, they will sell through exports only, which will generate revenue. Normally, the products which are sold in within India may not fetch a lot of revenue. When it is sold outside India, will fetch a little higher revenue than the revenue which is generated within India. These are called, and this will help in increasing our revenue and improves the economies. Imports. In the other way, when we import goods or services from other countries like US, UK, Ireland, Finland, Switzerland, etc., to our country, they are called imports. For them, it will become sale. This process enhances consumer choices and affects the local economy by providing access to international markets and products. Definitely, this will have an impact. Impact in the sense will be affected. Suppose you are buying the goods or services abroad from overseas, then definitely the consumption within India will be get affected. So we should be very careful with regard to the imports. Role of exporter. What is his role of exporter in this scenario? Exporters are entities that sell goods or services to foreign buyers, contributing an economy's growth. They navigate international markets and regulations to reach customers beyond national borders. In this sense, when we sell the goods, it will be transported through through flights or by air or by sea. Sea in the sense it will be loaded in the ships. So these navigation which will travel from one country to other country, are called international navigation, and this will help the markets to get their material or services by reaching their destinations, and which will improve economy's growth directly and indirectly. Coming to the role of an importer, the other way, when importers purchase goods or services from foreign suppliers, they supply even goods or they take the services of the foreign technicians. For example, in my company, I am purchased one imported equipment which was brought from France, and it is having some installation problems, and it has to be started or initiated to start my production. So I'm facing little difficulty in operating the equipment. So definitely I will call a foreign technician of the company to help us in the operation of how to use this machine, etc. And I will take his services. So these are called foreign technician services. And if I am buying the goods, that is equipment, is called foreign imports of goods, which will helping in meeting local demand with a variety of products. This will help in producing the products of different types, categories with different sizes and models, which will improve my market within India. Wi- And they are vital in facilitating trade and ensuring access to essential goods. Trade balance explain. What is trade balance? The trade balance in the sense, trade in the sense that the difference between trade is nothing but a sale and purchase of goods. Trade balance in the sense, the difference between exports and imports is called trade balance. Let us see. The trade balance is the difference between a country's exports and imports. A surplus occurs when exports exceed imports, while a deficit indicates that imports surpass exports, impacting the economy's overall health. Suppose the company or country, when exports a lot of goods and services to other countries, and finally at the end of the year, it will assess itself whether I have exported more or imported less. I will take a differential data that is called a trade balance. Trade balance. Next, exports and imports, understanding trade dynamics and regulations. Rules and regulations. In this, common requirements for the trade is engaging in international trade necessitates compliance with various regulations. Key requirements include registration with trade authorities and adherence to licensing for specific goods, which ensures legal compliance and safety standards are met. Before we start the business internationally, whether we export or imports, we are supposed to get registered or take license from the authority of the concerned country. For example, in India, we take a license from an authority called Director General of Foreign Trade and Policy. So they will issue one license, and also they will authorize you to the extent of how much you can import, how much you can export of your goods in a particular year. So, depending upon the information what you submit to the licensing authority, thereby they will issue within a specific period, and also they will mention where we are restricted to not to export our goods to the countries like Pakistan. For example, because recently we have seen or experienced there was a war between India and Pakistan. So Pakistan will be declared as a terrorist country where we are not supposed to export our goods as specified in the license. They will specify very clearly we should not export our goods and services to a country which is declared as a danger country or which will have abnormal conditions. Registration with authorities, exporters and importers. Licensing or restricted goods. Certain goods like arms and pharmaceuticals require specific licenses for trade. Non-compliance with licensing requirements can lead to severe penalties, emphasizing the importance of understanding regulations. regulations governing restricted commodities, and they will also specify in the license what are the products we should sell or export to those countries. They will specifically mention in the list. So according to that only we have to follow the rules. Next, the requirement of documentation. What are all documents are required? Successful international transaction hinge on proper documentation. Key documents include invoices, packing list, and certificates of origin, each serving to verify and facilitate trade between parties, and other documents like suppose the exporter is having some loans or limits with the bank which is operating is finance activities. So those documents are also supposed to be included like LCs. Suppose the company is exporting goods, they have to take a foreign letter of credit where they have to give declaration. A copy of the FLC also should be supporting documents also should be issued to the country along with these important documents. Customs duties and tariff codes. Custom duties and tariff codes play a vital role in international trade, determining cost, understanding, and harmonized system. Codes in essentials for correctly classifying products and avoiding costly mistakes. What is HSN code? HSN code is nothing but our GST code. They will give particular codes to each and every product to identify and classify these goods under this category. Coming to the international trade agreements, what are these agreements are? Before we start exports or imports, international trade agreements such as the WTO. What is WTO? World Trade Organization Framework, and regional pacts like US MECA established rules that facilitate trade between countries. These agreements aim to reduce barriers and promote economic cooperation. This will help a lot of support for us to promote economic cooperation. Limitations and violations. What are limitations? Tariffs and codes. Tariffs are taxes imposed on imported goods, making them more expensive and potentially reducing demand. Suppose a product has been increased from 5 rupees to 10 rupees, definitely the people will not be ready to purchase that goods because it is imposing. Imposing means they are adding additional taxes or duties which will increase the cost of the product. So, which will reduce the demand potentially. Potentially means maximum. Most of the people will not buy which is costlier and which is imported also. Quotes are limits on the quantity of goods that can be imported or designed to protect domestic industries from foreign companies. Currency fluctuations also there because we have seen so many sanctions overview. Sanctions are measures imposed by governments to restrict trade with specific countries, often response to political or military actions. We have just now discussed a little early that recently we had a war with Pakistan. So, which has disturbed our military actions also, and there was a huge loss to the country because we have used weapons. Violation of sanctions can lead to, if you violate and still if you export or import goods to such countries, which will lead to severe penalties, including fines and imprisonment. Imprisonment means putting you in the jail or behind the bars because you have violated the rules of the government of India. Non-tariff barriers. What is non-tariff barriers? Non-tariff tariff means putting some limits, fixing the rates. Non-tariff barriers include regulations, standards that restrict imports without any direct taxation. We should not include any direct tax such as health and safety regulations or labeling requirements. These barriers can complicate and delay international trade processes. These barriers means putting some hurdles, putting some restrictions. We should not do such type of activities, which is specified very clearly. Next, currency fluctuation. Currency in the sense, suppose we are India, we are in India, we denote our currency in rupees, whereas America denote its currency in dollars. So, to avoid some losses or dangers, normally a company fixes a certain, takes a certain forward contracts. They are called, they will book the dollar in advance before 2 months, 3 months, or 1 month, whatever it may be, according to the plan of the company. Why they will book the dollar or such type of currencies in advance, reserve that money to avoid such any losses. Suppose today you want to sell the product for 800 rupees, suddenly there was a fluctuation in currency. Means it may increase or decrease the rate of currency, dollar. Dollar rate may increase or decrease. Normally it will increase, but it will not come down. But it rarely happens, it comes down. Suppose if you book the product to sell at 800 rupees today, after some time during the time when you want to sell it to America after 2 months, the dollar may reach $900 for every 1 rupee. So it will disturb our finance. Our profits will be disturbed. So for such situations to avoid, the Indian companies will initially they will book and reserve the dollars, purchase and put it in their account and inform the bank to reserve so many dollars in advance. For example, $2 million, $3 million. 2 million means 20 lakh dollars. Okay. Currency fluctuations impact the value of trade transactions, potentially making imports more expensive or exports less competitive. Businesses must account for exchange rate volatility in their pricing and financial strategies. If you book in advance, you will be safe. Suppose in case you have forgotten to book the dollar in advance, your imports, instead of buying 1000 value of goods, it may go to 1300 rupees, 1500 rupees. So there is a difference of 300 to 500 rupees for every metric ton. You are buying 300 metric tons, it will disturb in lakhs. And where you will take that loss, it will become a burdensome to the company. If it reserves in advance and book it, then it is on the safe side. So for that reason, it will take a precautionary measure by the companies. Next, violations of trade regulations. Violation means a deviation. If you are going as per your intention and willness, surpassing all the rules and regulations is called violation. Deviating from the exact rules. Violations may include undervaluation of goods, smuggling, or incorrect classification of items. These actions can expose businesses to audits, financial penalties, and legal consequences. I already told you, if you deviate from the rules fixed by the government, it may lead to audit, financial penalties, and legal consequences. Consequences of violations. What it will become consequences means we have to face the music, means we have to face the situation. The consequences of violating trade regulations can be severe, including fines, seizure of goods. Seizure means withholding the goods, blacklisting the company from markets, and potentially criminal charges. Such repercussions emphasize the importance of compliance in, in international trade. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk on this topic.
Thank you, sir.